Hello and welcome to another Python class. So it's week 3 and all we'll be considering this week is loops and lists. Loops and lists. So we're going to understand why loops are useful. We're going to know what the dry principle is. So we'll write for loops to repeat code a specific number of times. We'll write while loops for conditional repetition. Then we use range to generate sequence of numbers. We'll create, access and modify lists. We'll use list methods like append, remove and the likes. We'll loop through lists and build list-based games. Alright, so in Python there's a principle called the dry principle. Okay, we call it dry principle. Dry like this. So what the dry principle means is don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself. So that's what the dry principle is. So it's a principle that is common in programming, and it means that you should not write code and repeat code. So now normally if you want to let's say for instance sorry, let me just set up my ID now. So let's say you want to print numbers 1 to 5 separately using not together. You want to print it separately on different lines. You could do like this. Something like this. Okay, so if we run this, that prints 1 2 3 4 5. So great. This is awesome, yeah, but it's not awesome at the same time. So we were successfully able to print 1 to 5 using differently, right, like that, but we repeated code, right? We repeated print 5 times, and that's against the principle called the dry principle. So that's why that's not so great. So another way we could do that is to use the for loop in Python. So in Python we basically have 2 types of loops. We have the for loop and the while loop. Alright, so this is how for loop works. For loops are iterates or runs through a collection of items, let's say lists or like a range. So to do the same thing we did here with the print 5 times, we can just say for num in range. I'm going to explain that shortly. For num in range 1, 6. Oh, I've got to put a colon after print num. Okay, can I clear this? Oh, I can't. So if I run this, you see it does exactly the same thing, 1 2 3 4 5, and I didn't have to repeat code, just 2 lines, and it does exactly the same thing. So what for loops does is to iterate through a collection of items, right? So this range 1 to 6 is like saying number 1 2 3 4 5 just before you get to 6. So for loops, the way for loop runs is that it repeats code a set So for loop repeats code a set number of times. So it's perfect for running code n times, going through list and counting and all that. So here we set for num in range. Now num is just a variable we created, and for loop will start from the beginning of this range, which is 1. Then so for num in range, so the first item in this range is 1, so that's going to be the value of num at this point, at this level, at the first run rather. Num will be equal to 1, and then it's going to print num. So after that it goes back again. The second one is what? 2. So num will become, the value of num will become 2. The value of num becomes 2. So again the value of num becomes 3, and so on and so on, like that. So we print everything like that. That's how for loops run. That's just how for loops run. Alright, so there's a way we can do this with while loop also. So while loop actually is slightly different from for loop. So a while loop repeats as long as a condition is, sorry for this that I'm doing here, here's the eraser. Okay, so a while loop repeats as long as a condition is true. A while loop repeats as long as the condition is true, and it stops when the condition becomes false. So for instance, for what I wanted to do the other time, the print 1 to 5, we can say num equals to 0. I can now say while num equals to, let's say 1. Sorry. Then we can now say while num is less than 6. Since we don't want to get to 6, we want to stop at 5. So while the value of num is less than 6, right? Now I want to first print num, and then after printing num, we now increase the value of num by 1. So the first thing is that, okay, as long as the variable num is less than 6, we'll print it first. After that, we'll now increase it by 1. So for the first run now, num is equal to 1. So here we are going to add 1. So num will become num plus 1, meaning that, okay, after printing num, then add 1 to it and reassign that value. So if we run this now, and it will do that until it gets to 6. So when it gets to 6, it will not run because num is no longer less than 6. So let's run this. So you see, we get the same output here. Going back to for loops now, we can use for loops to loop through a list. Can loop through a list. For instance, we can have a list now. Let's say names equals, so a list is just a set of a collection of items in square brackets like this in Python, and they are ordered. We can say names equals to Peter, Paul, Thomas, and Jack. So we're going to say for name in names. Now we cannot say for names because names has already been used to declare we already declared the variable names to be this list, so we cannot use names to iterate, but we can use name to iterate, meaning that for individual name in names, print, I'm going to use F formatted printing, print name. Let me insert this name is a boy. So let's run that. So it takes each of them, Peter, the first one, then injects it into this and prints it out. Peter is a boy, Paul is a boy, Thomas is a boy, Jack is a boy. So that's how our for loops work. Right? Now let's do something like a countdown now. That one we do it with a while loop. So count equals 5. So while count is greater than 0, I want to do something like a countdown. So first print count, then count equals count minus 1. So what are we doing here? We want to count down from 5. So the value of count is currently 5. So the first thing is, as long as the count is greater than 0, so currently 5 is greater than 0, print that count. So we're printing 5. So after printing 5, we go back to this point. Python goes back to this point and check again. No, after printing 5, it does this. Count equals to count minus 1. We are changing the value of count by subtracting 1. So we are subtracting 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So it Python goes back and check. Okay, is 4. The new value of count is 4. So is 4 still greater than 0? So yes, it is greater than 0. So this block we execute because it's still greater than 0. So it prints 4 again, and then it subtracts 1, making 3. So once it gets to 1, so 1, it prints 1, subtracts 1, and that becomes 0. So is 0 greater than 0? No. So it stops running. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's just it. We can even say something like print blast off, or you say countdown over, just to mark the end of the countdown. Oh, I made a mistake here. Okay, so it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, countdown over. So that's just it. Alright, so let me show you something about while loops. We are saying num equals I say num equals 1 now, and I say while num is greater than 0, print num. You notice here that I have the value of num equals 1, and then I say while num is greater than 0, because 1 is greater than 0, it will execute this block, print num. But now I did not actually state anything like where to stop or something. So if I run this code, you see what happens. You see that this is running, it continues to run. Now it says execution halted here. This is because we've reached the maybe memory limit for this particular web-based software here. But if it is on your local machine, you see how many ones it has printed. So while loop continues to run until the condition is false. So because this number 1 is greater than 0, it will continue to run unless you put a stop to it. And there's another way we can put a stop to while loops. You can use the break here, just after the this line here. It will break the code. Right, you see it prints it one time and then it breaks. So that works. So the last thing I want us to do today is just to make something like a guessing game. So we already did something like that last week, but we just want to extend it further. So okay, so first let's print for the user. number guessing game. So first let's store a secret number. Secret equals 7. Then first let's say trials equals 3. Okay, so trials is the number of times you want the player to try, right? So we're going to say while trials is not equal to 0. So as long as the trial has not ended, we're going to say guess equals to int inputs. What I'm doing here is that if the player still has trials left, maybe like lives in games, lives like 2 lives, 3 lives, if he has trials left, so we're going to ask the user to enter a guess. So int inputs now, meaning that we're changing this to the input to an integer, we are storing it in guess. The reason why we are changing it to an integer is because we are going to evaluate it. We are going to do an evaluation on it. So because we are working with numbers, so we're going to do some evaluation on that. So int input, okay, we're going to say thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Can you guess what number I'm thinking of? Right? So okay, so we're going to ask the user to keep on entering, okay, keep on trying. But what if the user gets it correct? Then we don't want to keep on trying. All right, so while trials is not equal to 0, we're going to say if secret is not equal to guess, okay. So this, what I want to do here is just to, okay, I'm going to remove this right now. So while the trial is still on, we are going to ask the player to enter. Now if what the player enters, if guess is equal to secret, that means if the player guesses correctly, so if what the player enters is equal to this secret number I'm thinking of, then we are going to say print you you guessed correctly. You are a genius. Right? You guessed correctly. You are a genius. And then immediately we are going to break it. I'll tell you why we did that later on. So, but what if the user does not get it? We say incorrect guess. Please try again. Incorrect guess, please try again. And if the guess is not correct, the person gets incorrect guess, please try again. So but after the 3 trials, then we're going to come here and say okay, I'm going to print something here now. Better log next time. Okay, let's just see how this work. Let's run this. So it says number guessing game. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Can you guess what number I'm thinking of? Let me guess correctly and see what happens. It says you guess correctly, you're a genius. Okay, now what if I guess incorrectly? Let me write 5. It says incorrect guess. Please try again. Better luck next time. So I don't want this better luck next time to be printed. So let's come back to our code and see what's going on. So what exactly is wrong? What exactly is wrong? Why is it telling me that? So because I said, okay, if it's correct, okay, it's going to break. Or here it's going to say incorrect guess. What if I shift this? What if I do this? Let's see what happens. Okay, can you guess what number I'm thinking of? So that is not gonna make it work, right? So it's better to just remove this totally. Okay, let me just remove this totally. Okay, I'm thinking of a number. Okay, let me guess incorrectly. Okay, incorrect guess, please try again. Incorrect guess, please try again. Oh, now it is not stopping, so there must be something wrong somewhere. So I said while trials is not equal to 0. Oh, now I see what is going on here. Now trials will not be change. The value of trials will remain 3. So that is why this happens. So in that case, anytime I don't guess correctly, I have to after printing correct guess, then I have to change the value of the trials allowed. Because I've guessed correctly here, so I don't need to change it. But here, if I didn't guess correctly, I have to change it. Trials equal to trials minus 1. So let's run this. I'm thinking of a number. Okay, let me guess. No, incorrect. It says incorrect guess, please try again. Correct guess, please try again. Right. So that this does something. This does something. Right. So can we make this a little bit more sophisticated? So can we do that? So let's make the secret number to be 17. Trials equals 3. So I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 50. And you guess what number I'm thinking of? So if guess is secret, you guess correctly and then break. So now we're going to say that here now I'm going to say if guess is greater than secret, then instead of this we're going to here we're going to say you guessed too high, because the guess is higher than the secret. You guessed too high, please try again. Guessed too high, please try again. So then we're going to have another elif, so else rather, and then we have to do this every time the person guesses incorrectly. We have to increment we have to reduce the value of trials. So else we're going to say, let me just copy all this. You guessed too low this time around, please try again. All right, and then this is going to be okay. So all right, So let's run this now. Remember the value is now 17, so if I use 17, that will work. You guessed correctly. So let me come back and say 23. You guessed too high, please try again. 12. You guessed too low, please try again. 100. You guessed too high, please try again. So, and that stops the person from trying again. That stops the person from trying again. So you can just figure out how to make this to, put something like, okay, better luck next time after the trials have ended. So let's just end this class now, so we'll meet in the next class.